Hello and welcome back. So if you've looked at any of my previous videos, you might have noticed that I have a bit of a thing for some of the older style games. In particular, my biggest love is probably 5th edition fantasy. That was the game system that I first started out with way back when with my Undead army, and it's a game system that I still have very fond memories of. So it was probably about Christmas time 2020 when the blame for this can properly be apportioned to @JewelKnightJess. If you don't follow her on Twitter, you absolutely should. Her painting is phenomenal. She was putting up some pictures of some really nice old wood elf models that she decided to start painting up because, well, heck, we were all in lockdown number 3, so why not? This got me thinking about that dwarf army that I'd always wanted to start painting and just never quite got round to. The slippery slope in all of this is I thought to myself, I'll buy myself the dwarf army book, because, I mean, I can read through the background, I can, look at the pretty pictures. Where's the harm in that? It's just, a little bit of nostalgia. That reminded me that I had some dwarf models in a box somewhere that I painted when I was about 11, and maybe I could retouch the paintwork on those, or, grab maybe a few of the old metal dwarf miniatures that I really wanted to paint. In particular, the flame cannon. I love the classic flame cannon model with the flames flaring around the barrel. So I thought, well, again, where's the harm in that? I'll grab a couple of those, maybe paint them up. I'm trapped in lockdown. What am I going to do? The problem I have, and anyone who knows me will tell you this, is if I'm having a good time, I want everybody else to be having a good time. And this generally leads to events. If I'm playing something that I really enjoy, then I'd start to think up ways in which I can turn this into some kind of campaign or tournament or something that I can share with everybody else who likes playing with toy soldiers. And before you know it, you're 6 years into a long-running narrative 40k campaign and you're getting cards printed by card companies in China and inventing your own versions of the rule set. More on that anon. Anyway, I had a chat with some of my friends, in particular some of the guys from the Spiky Club, from Bristol Vanguard, and from the Hackney area tabletop enthusiasts, those noble men from Hate. And there was about 20 of us, I think, all together who had similar feelings of nostalgia and thought it might be fun just to paint up some armies. And maybe when things opened up again, we'd get together and have some games. You might remember from an earlier video that I was fortunate enough to basically find buried treasure. I tripped over and found myself in possession of 2 near-mint copies of the 5th edition fantasy starter box set when I was just trying to take some stuff to the recycling centre. That got me some copies of these. Absolutely beautifully written 5th edition fantasy rule sets. And tucked away at the back of the battle book is a really kind of funky campaign system. It's quite nice, it's territory based. You've got some territory charts on there that tell you things that you can use to structure your army. And anybody who follows ArbitorIan on YouTube, and again, if you don't, you absolutely should, his videos are brilliant, will tell you that this kind of led to the Blood in the Badlands campaign, which was based on one of my favourite source books from later on in the fantasy era, but also kind of just tying into that really great old worldy style background of the kind of the border princes and the dark lands beyond that used to be part of civilization but have been taken over by the orcs and the warlords. So we decided, let's put together 1,500 point forces, old school miniatures where possible. Some people use some of the newer stuff, that's okay. We'd all meet up at an event eventually at Warhammer World when things were opened up again and see how we get on. I shot some video while I was there and I'm going to share it with you now. So let me hand over to our on-the-scene roving reporter, i.e. me, and I apologise for the quality. This is all shot on my mobile phone. But here we go. Let's see how things went at the Blood and the Badlands campaign. Hi, I am at Warhammer World, and yes, the 5th edition fantasy campaign weekend is a go. I've just had my first game against Willard's High Elves. I will just show you how things have gone. So, waves of High Elf spearmen and archers unleashed against my Dwarven throng. The man of the match on this game was definitely the flame cannon, who on its own accounted for about 500 points of the enemy forces. The Dragon Slayer did nearly kill off the High Elf General all on his Todd, even with the Sword of Destruction killing off his magic axe. End result was a victory for the Dwarves, which is they've captured a mountain. I'm going to move on now. I'll show you how some of the rest of the games are going. So here we've got Ian's demons chasing down the Wolf Riders. Gorgeously painted Orc Army, complete with a classic Marauder Giant, who unfortunately ran away.
You've got to play it like you're 15.
Yeah, okay.
So you don't know what you're doing, but it's fun. That's the key.
Is the Bloodthirster now fighting the Bloodletters? Oh, they killed everything that was there. Okay. Unit Orcs all dead.
No. It does plan on. Oh, okay. Yeah, it does do plan on.
Over here we've got Gary versus Bobby. Probably masked up. Those gorgeous Orc-Vermeer ogres versus the beautiful Undead army. Doesn't seem to be that much of the Orc and Ogre army left. Is that still alive? Well, alive in terms of alive.
It's still on the table. I've only lost one regiment of skeletons so far. What we heard is quite
I've got some news for you. If we play each other over the weekend, I've captured a mountain, which I'm willing to stake against you to let you get some of the monsters out if you can win it. Yeah. It's Willard's mountain, so if you can claim it from me. So is the dragon wholly unscathed at the moment?
Yeah, it's just been murdered.
And the boss on top?
Yeah, unscathed. I've actually bought a piece of armor though as well.
No nasty magical spells you can throw at it?
Yes, but unfortunately one's magic haven't been fine.
Oh, what turn are you guys on?
3.
3 out of a random game length or 5-turn game or what? So 5 turns. Okay, 2 turns left. You can do it.
We are speeding up.
I shall leave you guys to it. The Empire squared up in the centre.
3 hits on Bowman. I think they're slightly closer than
That's running around. The driver is dead.
That's the most effective. That's the most effective way to use a Doom Wheel. It's less effective when the driver's in control.
3 wounds at -7 armor save.
Oh, well then, yeah,
Something like that.
Where is your Sir Monopose General? Is he still alive?
He's there. He's still alive.
What was his name?
He's Prince Einposen.
Einposen. Of the Einposen.
The Grand Duke Einposen is currently in hospital, having been bitten by a dog.
Oh dear. And a Chaos versus Chaos crash over here.
Absolutely. All right.
Lots of extremely pretty, brightly coloured Chaos stuff.
Yeah, it was possibly wiser to use it to get an extra hit.
You re-roll for Black Amulet.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that.
You've only got 2 wounds, so
I have only got 2 wounds.
Black
I'm fully
Amulet.
expecting there's going to be a mutual splatterthon in a minute here.
yeah,
Alright, so I've got weapon skill 8, which is more than what we've got on the sort of screen,
yeah.
right?
So 3's to hit.
3's to hit him. Here we go.
Is this General versus General?
Yeah.
So what's your normal armour save first?
So
Probably
Chaos armor and a disc. So normally 3s, so that's gone.
And they do D3 wounds then?
Sorry, 6s because I've got my gift of chaos.
Ah.
6s to save.
plus 1 armour save. So take 5 saves. I wouldn't mind you passing one of these.
No.
One more.
Sorry.
To 5, yeah.
Fine. Now it's
Now it's your Black Amulet. Oh dear.
Is this?
Here we go.
You trying to kill him by rebounding all his attacks on him, basically?
Yeah, this is classic.
Right, let's
and
make
he's got
sure.
a reroll up his sleeve as well.
Check the magic book.
And it's plus or minus 1 on the
Yep,
reroll.
so you can also choose to have the reroll 1 on the Black Amulet to stop
Yeah.
it not working. So you can have more like a 4 pairs in the Black Amulet.
Oh, this
It's
is-
a talisman.
Yeah, here we
Wards.
go. Right, so
Each wound that you successfully pass. It's just a normal flail, not the flail of skulls, yeah?
Alright. 1
I
down.
take a wound.
Yes. And again. Come on.
You
Yeah.
take a wound.
Alright, no armour on that, right?
No armor on that.
But I can use my Jade Amulet though.
Yes.
Restores a life.
Yes.
Alright, Jade Amulet coming up. Passes.
Okay. I take a wound.
You've taken 2.
Wounds on you.
I
Yes!
re-roll that with my Zechi
Yes.
He takes a wound.
Right, so what
So
are we now?
you've each taken 2 wounds.
I've taken 2. No, you've taken 1 wound. I've taken 2. And I've got no rerolls left.
Right, this is the last one. You're dead.
The oldest dies! He looks so thrilled. So, last turn of the game here. Bloodthirster charges the Boar Boys, runs them down.
Expecting to be completely outnumbered. And
The trolls, which are affected by stupidity, entirely ignore the horde of screaming, flatulating pigs that's thunder past them, and doomed to be annihilated by one of the greater demons of the War God, because they're busy picking their noses. End result, victory for yourself then?
yes. Yeah, didn't expect that, but the fact that this was a flanking attack and therefore we didn't have our army at the start was good.
Go for it.
So, yeah, his ogres with extra hand weapons. Yeah, hang on, here we go.
Restage it for me. Beautiful, beautiful ogres on both sides.
Yeah, it's a lovely pair of armies. I mean, yours is nicer, but it's just nice that they're all green.
Okay, so what happened?
So, his ogres charged mine and had 3 attacks each because of extra hand weapons.
Yep.
The 12 attacks managed to do 3 wounds.
It's quite good. It's
and
enough to
kill
kill
one.
one over.
So only 2 of mine got it. 1 less wound and I've had all 3 attacking. Then my ogres managed to do 2 on him. I had 3 wound rolls to make, leading 2 pluses, and I rolled 1. So all of his survived. So he won by 1.
And he's
Then
got
I
standards.
failed my.
Failed his test on
His
a
standard
9.
isn't actually there.
Oh, okay.
So then I failed my leadership, my break test by 1, and I ran 7 and he ran 9. So it's fine margins, but the fine margins led to me being completely wiped out.
And you've captured the Doomstone of the town of Mortonstone.
Stone and the town of what was it called?
Morton's home.
Morton's home.
First one of the weekend.
1982 that it's been discovered. There you go.
That's awesome. Was it fun?
It was magnificent.
Russ stays quiet at this.
Oh, sorry, no, it was. I don't know you point the camera at me. It was a really fun game, but it was very decisive on very fine margins.
Oh yeah, massive. The swings,
Yeah.
the swings were really.
But that was, I think, it's more fun when it's so tight.
Are you going on the dragon then?
Yes, I am.
Ooh. 3 hits. What is the... Your strength 7, you're winning on 3s. Oh no!
Oh, that's a problem. Alright, so dragon. 7 attacks.
Oh dear.
6.
4s. If
Dragon taking
4 hits.
6, tough 6.
Only 1?
I got a 5 up forward save. Yeah!
You'll be fine.
Not really fine. Strike line with a big stick. 4 attacks. Weapon 0. 5.
Fours. Just the 2. Strength. 2 more wards. You're fine. See, I told you were worrying about nothing.
Quickness save is come in handy. Oh, I didn't take any.
No, you didn't. Well, that was disappointing. Was that the last turn? Here we see the Empire army of Iron Posen caught out by surprise in a Dwarven ambush.
Being ambushed by dwarves is a particular embarrassment, I think.
That's what you get for bringing ogres, you see. They were obviously too busy picking their noses. And laid out here, already skirmishing into the ruins, Bugman's crossbowman. Old Trusty laid up at the front. Then Lord Falamir and his hammerers. The unredeemed slayers. And I've got my thunderers up on the hilltop here, ready to unleash death. So as soon as we find out what spell you're using, you work that out?
Yeah. So I tell you what it is?
Oh, no, you don't have to. You can if you want to, but you don't have to.
I'm going to keep it a secret.
Ooh, keep it a secret. We shall find out what it is a little bit later. Okay, well, let's roll and see who gets the first turn. Okay, so we're about to find out what spell he rolled, because it's his first magic phase.
Yeah.
What did you get?
Nothing that will get within range of where you are.
So you're still not going to tell me what spell it
I'm
is?
tell you what the spell is.
Oh! Well, okay, end of the first Empire
It's not
turn.
a combat one. Although you could be a combat one, it could be out of range.
It could be one that
Although
only
the
works in
fact that I
combat.
said that would suggest that maybe it isn't. There we are.
The knights successfully blocked off that cannon's shooting. The archers there failed to wound the flame cannon crew. 2 of the thunderers were shot dead by the remaining archers over there, and the cannon sadly misfired, and thus cannot shoot this turn or next turn. So it's time to unleash some Dwarven army on them. Let's see what happens. An unfortunate roll on the artillery dice, the flame cannon burst lands just short of its intended target. Hopefully the crossbowmen and the handgunners can do better. Killed off 2 of the crew on the cannon, only 1 left, so it's probably only getting another couple of shots off this game at most. Winnowed out some of the numbers on the archers. Still disappointed about that flame cannon. If only I had aimed it towards the knights, it would have barbecued them. Never mind. Let's see what the Empire have for us in turn 2.
Now, I've definitely jinxed my ability to guess because I thought how good it would be if I get a good distance guess.
How far are you guessing with that cannon?
Yeah.
And towards what?
Well, I'm definitely going to shoot towards these guys.
Towards the
Try and
hammerers?
get both. If I can pull it off, I'll try and get both. I'm going to say it's 18.
Guess of 18?
Guess of 18.
The whippy stick is exactly 18 inches.
Okay, well,
The whippy stick is 18.
I see 20 would have been smarter.
Now you're going to roll the artillery dice.
I need to roll well. Four. No.
Well, so it goes 4, then it bounces, remember? So it'll go 4.
I thought that was the land and that was the bounce.
We check the rules, hang on. I was right, it bounces. I'm going to be very, very sick from this. 10 inches straight through the hammers and into the slayers.
Well, no, this is the extra distance.
Yeah.
To the first land. So
I thought you rolled...
that was.
Oh yeah, okay, that was the measure. So 18 plus 10.
Plus 10 is where it lands.
So where does it land?
10 inches from there means that it lands
On that slayer's head.
on that slayer's head. Okay.
It's on the standard bearer. Now it bounces 6 inches. So it's basically going to hit that slayer,
Yeah.
that slayer, and that slayer.
Yeah.
3 slayers.
Okay.
At strength, is it 10?
Yes, I think it is. It's kind of-
Yeah, strength 10. It's a great cannon, isn't it?
It is a great cannon, yeah.
Strength 10, no saves allowed. Okay, 2s. 2s to kill 3 slayers. With your perfidious Tylean trickery. Yeah, 3 dead slayers as they go whacked in the head by a hurtling cannonball. Not a noble death. Will I find out what his spell is yet? 2 cards each.
1, 2, 3, 4. Am I going to show my hand? No, I'm not. I'm still going to show my hand.
We're still not going to find out what that spell is.
No.
Okay, combat. We also completely missed the combat over here.
Oh, fuck it. Yeah, that's a very good
Let's
point.
do that. So the ogres charged into the unit of crossbowmen in the building, killed 1, lost 2 of their numbers. 1 of them's also wounded. 1 of them is also on a wound. And the dwarves pursued, missed the ogres, but caught the edge of the knights, and are therefore now in combat with the knights for the next turn. Stopped that sneaky flank charge. The cannon misfired, didn't blow up, thankfully, but once again has caused no harm to his battle line. But I did at least kill the last cannon over there. So I will continue my grumbling dwarven march across the board, trying to get to those poxy Empire manlings. It is Empire turn 3. So the dwarves lost 1 of their number, killed 1 of the knights, but with the benefit of the flank charge and a truly appalling fleeing distance for the knights, The swift-footed knights are wrong-footed and run down by the dwarves.
Just bursting out of this building.
Meanwhile, the cannon has killed a hammerer, and another 2 slayers suffered an ignominious death. Hey. The Empire line has still not moved. It's turn 4, and the dwarves are having to march across the battlefield, being winnowed slowly by incoming bow and cannon fire. Let's see whether or not I'm finally going to get to see what his spell is.
You will today.
So you see this guy's waving his arms around.
He waves his arms in the air like he just don't care, and then he does.
Suddenly lightning balls, etc. The whole deal. And you see a weird crystal charioteer there.
Ooh.
So I'm going to try and envelop. I think I'm within 24 inches of whichever commander is in charge of this unit.
The Dragon Slayer's in charge of that unit.
The Dragon Slayer. I immediately carry the victim 2d6 in the direction nominated by the caster, which will be that way.
No!
I mean, do you have a dispel spell card, or is there anything?
Let me just check the rules for dwarves. I only have 2 power cards.
Yes.
Which means I can't dispel.
Oh, okay.
Because I've got no dispel card.
Yes.
So although dwarves get a bonus to dispel, I actually need a dispel card still. No, I have no counter magic cards. And a power card can't be used as a dispel by this army. So, okay, what does it do to me?
Moves you 2d6 in a direction of my choosing.
No! 6 inches. Immediately backwards away from where they just came from.
And it's just the
Troll Slayers.
Just the Troll Slayer, yeah. So it's one model.
Oh, is it just the Dragon Slayer?
Just the Dragon Slayer, yeah.
Okay, so the Dragon Slayer ends up over here.
Yeah.
He'll step into the front rank to fill up the gap. And the Dragon Slayer, no! Thwarted.
Oh, hang on. Just bear with me.
Bearing with.
I'm just going to read this properly.
Read it aloud.
Okay.
Okay.
A gigantic bubble envelops and imprisons a single model within 24 inches of the wizard. The bubble immediately carries the victim 2d6 in the direction nominated by the caster. Whilst the spell remains in play, the bubble carries the prisoner 2d6 in the same direction at the start of each turn. The victim can do nothing while trapped except attempt to break free, which he can do by rolling under his strength on a d6 once the bubble has moved.
So I can try and get out now.
Yes.
If I can roll under his strength.
Yeah.
Because he's strength 4, so I need to roll with 1 to a 3 then to pop the bubble.
Exactly.
A 5 will not do it, so didn't put the spell next to him, and we know that he's being carried away.
So I don't have cards for this, I'm afraid.
Oh, that's fine. No problem.
We'll
put a power card next to him. There we go.
There we are.
So we know that he is trapped in a magic bubble. Oh yeah, just put him on the cloud. Put him on the cloud.
There we are.
There we go. He is being carried away. No!
I'm just being a massive dick in this game. A complete arsehole. There we are.
Okay, right. Well, let's see what happens in the Dwarven turn 4. Yeah, that would be a big kaboom for the cannon. So I'm literally left with the handgunners still pegging away at the enemy over there.
High risk thing getting the ogres and the cavalry straight up.
Having those on that flank, and I think it was unfortunate that the ogres charged those great weapon crossbowmen, and because Bugman's Rangers are actually very tough as a unit, the ogres bounced off, and that gave me that movement to just, because your butt was still sticking out on the knights, I glanced into them.
Yeah, that was.
And that basically broke that flank.
Yeah.
And then everything else, you've got archers, but I think your lack of like black powder stuff and longbowmen are okay, and they were certainly within that of the cannon, you whittled the slayers down.
Yes.
But it still wasn't quite enough. Whereas I think if those halberdiers had come forward and gotten involved, I think you would have.
I think that is definitely a decision. Yeah. When you were right there, I think if I'd had a go.
Yeah, I think if you'd gone for it then, you might have not have broken me, but you might have kicked more out of me than you thought.
Yeah.
I mean, you might have killed the Slayers, for example, and that would have given you more victory points. It still may not have made a difference because the end score was 11 victory points to 2.
Yeah.
But at least Crag Stormstrider got loose from the bubble, even if I think he did end up basically where he started. It was a good game, though. That was fun. That was fun. And it was quite nice to kind of go, what is your spell? What is your spell? What is it going to do? It's going to really annoy the dwarves.
Yeah. That's the first time I've had a magical edge.
usually with a level 1 wizard, I'm playing catch up with spells. This is the first time I've got magical,
Who's or what's it?
Yes.
Well, I am going to claim your forest and go and rush off and build a gyrocopter.
Yeah.
Do you want the mountain or the temple? Extra wizard? Or the option to take a monster?
I've got no monsters option.
There's a shop over there.
Kids, that's true.
Or extra wizard.
I think it's a wizard. I will have to paint one. Yeah.
We've got tonight.
I've got tonight. That's true. Fine. Yeah, let's do it.
What's wrong, Ross?
His Chaos Warriors have been beaten in combat by skeletons and zombies. And I just drain magic.
So that you'd be his sorcerer lord not casting any spells then?
Yes.
Is that his wounded? Or is it you that's wounded?
That's me that's wounded.
Every single unit in my army except that one has failed the leadership test against his undead army.
Against the Wraith in
Excellent.
Um,
Is the Banshee still on the loose, or have you killed her off?
Banshee got,
Yeah, I got rid of the
spotted.
Banshee.
Did you get to scream at anything?
Yes, and did all wounds.
Well, that's something.
The most annoying thing is that you get my escape card as well, that I've been storing since turn 1, which was the only reason I risked charging you.
No escape for you.
This game has just so this turn as well, my Chaos Marauders fighting against the small bats killed no bats and took 2 casualties. Gives you an
Those are
idea
some
of-
particularly vicious bats.
Gives you an idea of how the fates have conspired against me.
Okay, so those Chaos Warriors are completely wiped out.
As are my ogres, both units of dogs, my harpies.
And he's now sat on his own facing a Vampire
But I
Lord.
can still win, because I can still fluke a kill on the Vampire Lord.
Although the plus side is because you're now shuffling the escape card back into the deck, it's equally possible that it'll get dealt out to Bobby's Vampire Lord. Or Lady, rather.
But not before the next combat phase.
Alright, let's see how this combat goes then.
I have a helmet of many eyes, so I go first. But my disc doesn't. So I will hit your Vampire Lord with my Mace Tail. The Mace Tail hits and wounds. Hey, what's your toughness?
6, isn't it?
Wounds.
Armor save? Ward save? Yes! How many attacks back from the vampire?
Now I get to hit with my Chaos Ring Blade.
Oh, okay.
That is this game down to an absolute.
I'm going to bleep that now.
Sorry.
Still not very good.
Good enough though.
What's your toughness again?
5.
So wounding on 2s.
2 wounds.
Minus many.
So, Black Amulet time.
Okay.
4 saves. Oh, wait.
So I take a wound. Black Amulet again. I cause a wound back on you.
Okay.
And does my Black Amulet run out?
So do you now get to make your ward save against the wound that was bounced back on you?
Do you have a ward save? Then you get your ward save, yeah.
No, you won't.
So you've taken now a total of 2. Did you pass it? Okay. So you've taken 2 wounds. Okay, and I've taken 1. I'll leave there. Okay. Magic phase.
Second attempt at this.
Yeah.
Missed with the mace tail.
Mace Tail misses. Chaos Ring Blade. 1 hit. At least I've got at the 3rd time of asking, I've got at least 1 hit instead of 3 misses. Toughness is
6.
6, and I'm only strength 5.
No, that's not a wound then. What does the Chaos Rune Blade do?
No armor save. Only magical armor saves and D3 wounds.
So it doesn't give you bonus to your strength.
No. So then my charge attacks. So you so I'll get to win my charge attacks on your unit. Then you'll get to attack me back. So Kovor's disc hits and wounds. No modifier to your save. So 4 up, I believe. Disc kills 1. Overall, hits twice. Wounds twice. Strength on this is 6 minus 3, no saves. 2 die. Then one of the horses is all that can do anything. So what I will do actually, because they are, if you don't mind, they are, what do you call it, fast cavalry. So they can reform as they move anyway. Not that it's going to make a difference because the dice rolls going to be the same, so I'll just do them all anyway, it's the same outcome either way. So the horse, this is Marauder, hits, what's your weapon skill?
Graveguard 3, I think.
Hits twice. Flails, already on 2s. Wounds twice. Minus 3, so no saves. 2 more die. Yeah.
Now it's the
That's it from me.
vampire back.
So the vampire gets to hit back. Yeah. Toughest 5. 2.
He's only got 2 left. You've got no black amulet anymore.
So have I got an armor save?
Chaos armor.
Armor save, haven't I?
But strength 7, you're not going to get your armor save.
So I'm dead. Okay, well, that's the game over then, isn't it? Okay. Oh, jeez.
Okay, so game 3, up against Bobby and the beauteous yet deadly vampire horde. We're playing a pitched battle. Dwarf army is set up in a nice, resolute battle line, ready to face the shambling horrors. Slightly worried about the black coach that's going to come in down the flank, but I'm not too worried because I have got the magical, magnificent flying machine that is my gyrocopter. I'm so pleased to be able to get this out for a game. I managed to roll a first turn, so let's see how we get on. The gyrocopter steam cleaned 5 of the Graveguard to death and 10 of the zombies as well. Didn't manage to win the vampire. The flame cannon proved to be less old trusty and more old rusty as it misfired in the first turn of the game and now can't shoot again until turn 3. I am now slightly worried though that I may get some zombies to the face of my gyrocopter in a few moments. We shall see. The winds of magic have blown poorly this turn. Only 2 winds of magic cards for Bobby. What are you going to do?
Let's do the fantastic summon skeletons.
Dun dun dun! Okay, I have no dispel cards, so go ahead and summon some skeletons.
I summon 5.
The handgunners are about to hopefully shoot their full volley, their first volley of the game, into the armored skeletons. They're hitting on 4s, killing on 3s. Let's see what happens. So 10 shots because they're on a hill. 4s. That's quite odd. That's all of them. Oh no, missed. One missed. That one missed. So that is 8 hits. There are 6 left. 3s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think annoyingly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The Necromancer is the only thing left. Minus 2. Okay. They get strength 4, but they get an extra -1 because of black powder. Which annoyingly means the Necromancer is the only thing left alive. Dang it! And I have no more missile weapons I can shoot at it. The gyrocopter has been total power curse of years, so he is rapidly aging, the wings fraying on the gyrocopter, the engine making sad puttering noises. And yeah, another unit of skeletons is now rising up to reinforce the Necromancer. Meanwhile, the zombies are clawing at the Dwarven armour, trying to get their brains. So that would be the Staff of Damnation's extra attacks with the zombies, hitting on 4s.
Not so many 4s in those 9 attacks.
No. The gyrocopter has once again, though, had to turn and make a break from it before it gets caught by another horde of zombies. The same horde of zombies, in fact.
The zombies are desperately trying to rope at this.
So we've got to the stage where the vampire has killed the Dwarven Lord, The Slayers and the Rangers finished off the giant unit of zombies. The Black Coach, somewhat embarrassingly, charged the bodyguard, who were clearly unnerved at the loss of their general, failed their terror test, fled 2 inches because of the -1, and were promptly rammed down by the Black Coach. Yeah, I'm about to get hit by some magic. Let's see what happens. What have you got? Curse of Years on the Slayers, and there are 3 magic cards lurking in the back there that could reinforce. So I'm currently dispelling on 4. I will boost that to a 3-up, to a 2-up.
I don't actually have anything to reinforce it with.
Okay, 2-up to dispel. Choo, that got that. After turn of resolutely holding out, the vampire hitting with basically all of her attacks and killing 5 dwarves, outnumbered by fear causers, Burlow and his boys finally break and flee. Directly towards the Black Coach that just ran down Bugman's boys. I think as much as I killed a lot of stuff with the steam cannon, I think the Undead may have carried this. We'll find out in a moment. Final score, 14 victory points to the Undead, 6 to the Dwarves. Yeah, the Slayers were under Curse of Years. The Thunderers were under Curse of Years. The Flame Cannon had blocked its barrel again. I think even if this had gone on for another turn, the writing was very much on the wall that most of my army would have died. Clearly, this part of the Badlands has been seceded to the Undead, who I may well claim my mountain. So, last game of the weekend is a last stand for my Dwarfs against the massed Chaos Horde and their Dark Elf allies from Russ and Nate. Can my square-formed, heroic Dwarven castle stand up to the challenge? We shall see.
So I've got 3 that are in base
So
space.
the Harpies have now charged the Flame Cannon crew, which decimated the Marauders over there. The Gyrocopter steam cleaned a load of the Cold One Knights before crashing and burning, exploding and killing the Dark Elf Sorceress. So Chaos Hounds are rude. Strength 4, Toughness 4. They killed 5 of my handgunners for no losses among themselves. I would charge them with the Slayers. I'm going to try it in a minute, but Nurgle's Rot has slowed my Slayers to a mighty 4-inch charge. Hopefully I can see off those Harpies over there, and then maybe stand a chance at holding off those Dark Elf Cavalry when they turn up. We shall see. Turn 2. I'm going to survive this in 2 more turns. It's basically, so half of the crossbows hit, wounding on 3s against those poxy Dark Elves. Yeah, 1 wound. The Slayer and the crew and the Clansmen all basically bounced off the Harpies, who then passed their leadership test. So I'm still stuck fighting the Harpies as the Dark Elves close in. Meanwhile, the Hounds massacred the Thunderers, so the Slayers and the Hammerers are preparing to receive their charge. We go into the Chaos and Dark Elf turn 2. Absolute carnage about to break out in the middle. I think almost everything in the Dwarf army is in combat except for the Slayers and the Crossbowmen. We're going to start over here with the Chaos stuff, I guess, and work our way across.
Yep.
It's turn 2. I'm still holding in here at the moment, and they just rolled 11 for the Winds of Magic. We'll see if I'm still here in a few minutes' time.
Here you go. A Dark
Okay.
Hand of Destruction.
What does that do?
It is a close combat spell that basically allows me to do 1 attack, hitting you on 4s because you've got high weapon skill. And if I hit, I do D3 wounds with no armor saves for non-magical armor.
For non-magical armour?
So you'll get magical armor.
I have magical armour.
But it will still be a -2 armor save.
Okay. And what is it? So you're going to cast it on power 1, yeah?
Yes. Power 1 spell. I'm
Okay.
going to dispel it and
I
I'm
am-
going to boost it.
Going to try and dispel it.
Didn't succeed it.
So you successfully cast Dark Hand of Destruction and then promptly missed.
Because I can't re-roll it.
Any more spells?
Yep.
What do you got?
So next I will cast Doom Bolt for 2 power.
Where does that go? From him directly into...
So that's going to go straight into your general.
Okay, so that's cast on...
Actually, I'll cast it with them.
Okay, so just cast, yeah?
Yeah.
So I try and dispel it on a 4-up. On a 3-up.
Yeah. That's still there.
Do a boost?
So, have you boosted it?
Yes.
So you're onto a 3-up.
Yep.
You get a
4-up.
special.
Oh dear.
So that was well spent.
So, okay, so try and zap me.
So,
It's a strength-
D6, strength 5 hits.
Okay.
Oh no.
So, strength 5, he's
Twice.
toughness
It's been one
6.
strength 5
It's a
hit.
5 to wound.
Wounds.
Causes a wound.
Doesn't mention anything about armor save, so minus
So,
2.
minus 2. So, it would be a 3 up, it goes to a 5 up.
Yeah. Oh. Oh.
That's all the videos I have from the games that were fought there that day. The final score for the last stand between my Dwarves, Russ's Chaos and Nathan's Dark Elves was a narrow victory for the forces of darkness. Although the Dwarves held on and stayed alive, in terms of victory points there was about 100 points in it, which came down to just over 1 victory point. The Chaos managed to kill off my Dwarf Lord at the last minute and my Dragon Slayer, and that just tipped the points over onto the other side of things. It really was a fun game to play, though. In terms of everything else that happened that weekend, as you heard, one of the Doomstones was found by Luke and his Chaos early on. Another one was turned up by Willard and his High Elves later on in the weekend. And in actual fact, Ian and his Demons of Khorne managed to capture the Doomstone off of Luke's Chaos Warriors led by Thrud the Barbarian, which meant there were 2 Doomstones out in the wild at the end of the weekend. The way the campaign had been structured was that possession of Doomstones gave you a chance at winning the whole event and becoming Lord of the Badlands. Because there were 2 Doomstones captured by players, there seemed to be one logical way we could resolve who the winner was, and that was with a throwdown, beatdown, fight to the death, which I'm going to share with you now.
Right, hang on. So, you guys have both found one of the Doomstones in the Badlands. But as the Highlander has it, there can be only one. The appropriate way to resolve this is a battle to the death.
General off.
My plan had been that you both count as charging, but if you've worked something else out, I'm not going to interfere with it.
No, that's fine. We don't do any moving.
What Arena of Death was, from when they did it in White Dwarf, was that both models started in base contact and also both counted as having charge. So they went simultaneous. And any advantages they got from charging, they got. So impact hits with his chariot, for example.
Oh, okay, fine. There we go. Right. We're both charged into each other.
Yep, so it's simultaneous.
Simultaneous. Right. Okay, so I get, so impact hits first.
Yep, so how many impact hits?
D6 plus 2, a side wheel chariot. So
Okay, roll them up.
D6 plus 2, impact hits at strength 7. Yep. So.
Is that a 6? 8 strength 7 impact hits on the Bloodthirster.
On the Bloodthirster.
What toughness is the Bloodthirster?
7.
So these are wounding on 4s.
4, 5, and 6s. Here we go. And how many wounds on the Bloodthirster? 10. It is 2 wounds on the Bloodthirster.
Oh,
Minus 4 saves. Minus 4 saves. 6s. No saves.
no saves. So the Bloodthirster's down to 8 wounds.
There you go. So
Just 8 wounds left then.
There we go.
Now,
Simultaneously strike. Why don't you go? Wait, he's healed from me dropping a hill on him earlier. So he did 8 wounds from me dropping a mountain on him. So I'm going to strike my great weapon. So you will get to go first. Okay. Oh, okay. So I will get to go first. You will get.
you may not get to go at all if he strikes first.
I mean, I can't wound him otherwise.
Oh, okay.
I don't really have very many options. I can go first. I don't think I go before him because of initiative anyway. This is like initiative a billion.
10 attacks then.
Yeah. 10 attacks plus 1 for the whip.
Go ahead.
One's the whip. So this is 3s. Hit you on 3s, yeah? No. So that's 7 hits. Randomised when they go. That is 3 on the chariot. Will kill the whole thing. And these are hits, not wounds. Hits, yeah.
You might roll ones to wound.
You hit the steeds. You hit all 4 of the horses. So no, because that one's the rider. So, yeah, okay, yeah. First we'll start with the chariot. I'm wounded.
Toughness 7.
Strength 8. Okay, yeah, cool. So you do
1d3, and it's got 3 wounds, yeah?
Yep. Chariot's destroyed. You're on the 3. Yeah. Oh right. Okay,
He's got a
so
d3.
it's a D3.
So the chariot is wrecked. Now you do 3 of the horses, needing 2s.
The horses are gone now.
Technically,
Well, it's all simultaneous.
It's all simultaneous.
They're all dead. Okay, cool.
so it's just the general left.
And the general, 4 up is the other guy.
Yeah, 4 plus into the charioteer.
4 plus is the charioteer. Is the charioteer.
Charioteer is dead.
Charioteer is dead. Okay, so now you have your general to attack me.
So the general, you've got 8 wounds left on the Bloodthirster? How many attacks do you have?
4 attacks hitting on 4s. Yeah, but I'm definitely
definitely going to survive a round of combat with a bloodthirster. Thank you very much. I'd like to see anyone else's general pull that off.
The last game, will I?
Yeah, it's better than the last game. Yeah, come on, I'll move this over. Right, I hit you 3 times.
Yes.
I struck a bloodthirster 3 times. 6. So I need 5 and 6s. So 5s and 6s to win.
That's well cocked.
Yes, so that is a no wounds.
No wounds.
Next round.
Well, combat result. Well, I don't know. Do we want to do combat result?
I think you should just keep going.
Yeah, let's just keep fighting.
Would you really run away?
Well, you're initiative 10. I think I'm initiative 9, annoyingly enough. So I think you will go first.
Well, you're using the great weapon anyway, so you'll be striking last anyway.
Right, so now I'm all against you.
Yep.
Purple one's the whip.
Oh, no, wait! Oh, no, it doesn't matter, because I've lost the combat anyway. But basically, you're a flyer, so you'd be driven off now.
I didn't come from a...
Oh, no, didn't you?
He walked.
No, I'm stood there, you saw me.
Right, okay, yeah.
So hit on 3s.
There you go. If you could roll all 1s, that would be ideal.
So wounding on 2s.
No saves, yeah, good.
And no saves and do 3 wounds.
Cool.
That means that Ian is the Lord of the Badlands.
With 1 game less than everybody else, and 6 territories in a doomsday. Turns out Batface the bloodiest Batface bloodthirster of chaos, is the winner of the Badlands.
Yes, he's mean.
They are now the Badlands.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes, so Ian, for charting the madcap adventures leading up to the Blood in the Badlands campaign, in the end it was actually Ian and his Demons of Khorne that won the entire weekend. Batty McBatface, I think, is the name of his bloodthirster, so maybe we should rename it the Batlands rather than the Badlands. In terms of prizes that were handed out, we handed out 3 prizes for the weekend. One, of course, went to Ian for being the overall winner of the weekend with a lovely piece of Old Hammer artwork. We also thought it'd be quite cool to give a prize to whoever could muster up the oldest model for the weekend, albeit they had to be able to evidence exactly when their model had been produced. With a couple of contenders around the 1986 mark, with I think about a month between them. But in the end, it was actually Russ and his truly ancient Chaos Warrior that cinched it and claimed this lovely copy of the cover to the Ravening Hordes book from 3rd edition. Last thing then was Best Painted. I'm going to show you who won Best Painted, but in actual fact I did a load of videos and photos during the day of all the lovely armies, and I think at this point it's probably easiest if I do a separate video just highlighting and maybe commentating on my own thoughts on what people painted up. It might be that maybe I can get some video from each of the players as well, and they can tell me how they went about building their armies. That's for another time then. For now, here is the winning army. With Luke and his Chaos Warriors with their hand-painted banners, led by Thrud the Barbarian. Thank you very much for bearing with me if you've watched this all the way to the end. If you'd like this video, please do all the usuals, like, subscribe, and I will try and get some more videos up soon, including Best Painted Army, details of all the armies from this weekend, and hopefully my next White Dwarf walkthrough. That's it for now. Thanks for watching.